Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope we are all doing fine. And to everyone joining this channel or listening to this for the first time, my name is Timmy. Welcome to Bits&Breach. So we are basically talking about everything Microsoft in this series. So today I'll be talking about how to set up DKIM, DKIM DMARC, and SPF record on your domain provider. But before we go ahead and talk about that, please click on the like button. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on the post notification so you don't miss any of my videos. And at the end of this, if you find this video, if you find it good, if you find it something you'd like, you can share to your friends and you can leave a comment behind. I really appreciate your comments. Anything you say, either good or bad, they're welcome. So first of all, you'll be like, what is DKIM and what is DMARC? So we're going to be doing a little bit of reading here. So DMARC is to validate the from address domain for cloud senders. And 1 second, we're just going to see why set up DMARC and DKIM. Let me just and SPF records and SPF records. Generally, I'm going to remove in M365 and so setting up SPF, DKIM, and DMARC is crucial to authenticate your email domain, ensuring high deliverability, protecting your brand reputation. Together, these three verify that emails are legitimately from your domain, preventing them from being flagged as spam by inbox providers like Gmail or Outlook. So there was a time where a Gmail would send an email, or you would send an email. Probably you are in Office 365, you're using your Outlook or any external email provider, maybe Zoho, and you're sending an email to a Gmail address or any address generally. You will see that your emails goes to the spam. I mean, that's why some people say, oh, if you can't see the email in your inbox, please check your spam. And that's a very terrible thing to say, because that means every time the important mails keep dropping in the spam instead of going directly to the inbox, you could lose a lot of things because of this. So that's why most times you see people saying, oh, did you get my email where I said you should do a transaction? They're like, no, I didn't get your email. How come? But I've sent the email since on Monday and I haven't gotten a response from you. Oh, I thought probably you were not interested in the deal. Something like that spoils a business reputation. Yeah, it spoils a business. They'll just be like, this person is not serious. What do you mean you sent an email to me and I didn't get it? That means you didn't want to offer me a deal. Or let's just use a scenario where two individuals from different companies using different email providers. One person has a deal, or probably I am looking for a job. Let's just say it like that. I'm looking for a job, and I decided that, oh, let me send my email to this person. Now I'm sending my email, I'm sending it to them, and it ends up in their spam. Or okay, I decided that okay, I have this project and I feel like this company will be the better person for the project. Now I send the project details and everything, and it ends up in their spam. So that organization, not that you send the email, you do not have a problem if you set up your DKIM and DMARC record or anything. But then it's going to an organization that have not set up the SPF, the DKIM, the DMARC record. It's going to their spam. So now they are not seeing anything, and they feel like they can't even see the project. And you're like, wait, I've sent an email, they've not responded to me. Probably they are not interested in this project, or maybe the money is too small for them. I will just see someone else to go ahead with the project. Now, to avoid scenarios like this, we set up the SPF, the DKIM, and the DMARC records. Now, SPF, which stands for Sender Policy Framework, lists authorized IP addresses, servers permitted to send email on your behalf, preventing unauthorized sources from impersonating your domain. While DKIM, which is Domain Keys Identified Mail, adds a digital signature to your emails, proving they haven't been tampered with or altered in transit. DMARC, which is Domain-Based Message Authentication, Reporting, and Conformance, ties SPF and DKIM together by telling receiving servers what to do. They're telling the receiving servers, oh, if you see this email, if authentication fails, why providing report on email activity? So if you see this email, this email is a suspicious email, send to quarantine. Or this email is a very suspicious email, reject it. We don't accept suspicious email here. Or this email is a suspicious email, don't do anything on it. I hope with this, I hope we understand a little bit of how these records work. I don't want to say too much on that, so we don't spend too much time on this. And the key benefit is stop spoofing, prevent bad actors from sending fraudulent emails. It increases deliverability rather, ensures emails reach the inbox rather than the spam folder, just like what I said. And I spoke about brand reputation. I didn't even see this before. So it builds trust with recipients and partners. And visibility, provide insights into who is sending emails from your domain. So today we are going to go ahead and publish this record. Now from what you can see, from what I just closed, now you would notice that I have already published mine on my domain provider, but I'm going to go ahead and delete this. So I'm going to delete the DMARC and the DKIM records. But first of all, I'm going to come to, okay, let me delete that before we go ahead with this. So I'm just going to copy this somewhere because I don't want to lose this. I'm just going to come to my notepad and paste it there. Then I'll delete this, I'll delete this, and I'll delete my DMARC or DKIM record rather. So DKIM is always CNAME, their CNAME record. I'll delete both of this. This is my SPF records. Okay, before I delete my SPF record, I want to show something. So normally if you are setting up your domain, in my previous video, if you look at the setting up of domain in my previous video, I was able to set the DKIM and the SPF records because along the way we saw the option to set up those records. All right, I'm just going to click on this, click on DNS records. So to see this, come to the admin.microsoft.com, then scroll down to settings, and under settings you see domain, and under domain you click on your domain name and come to DNS records just like I did here. Now it's showing that everything is okay, and because I had already set up my DKIM, it was showing okay, but now it's showing error, probably due to the fact that I just deleted it. And this is my SPF record. This is my SPF record. I'm going to go ahead and delete that also from my DNS provider. So I'll come back here and I'll refresh this. So if you have gone ahead to publish your records without including your DKIM records, can you see possible service issue just because I deleted the SPF records? So if you've gone ahead to publish your record without publishing your DKIM records, you would not see the option of DKIM here. I'm wondering why this is still here. You would not see the option of DKIM here. You would have to check another place to see the DKIM records. You would not see it anywhere here. So, but first of all, let me see why I still have one CNAME records. Okay, let me see, this is still here. Okay, so I'll go back here, I'll refresh the page. Can you see error, error, and error? So now, what I was saying is, if you are in the admin center and you come over to settings, come over to domain, click on your domain name and view your DNS records, you would see the MX, you see the TXT, you see the CNAME record, but you would not see this DKIM records. Now, the TXT record is always here. The DKIM record, you would not see it if you have not published it. So now I can see my DKIM record and I'm seeing that it has error there, meaning that I need to publish it. Can you see? We didn't detect that you added this record. We queried these name servers, and my name servers are qservers.net. We queried these name servers for the records, but they could not find it inside there. So what they are telling me now is I should go ahead to my domain provider and publish this record. So I'm going to be publishing this again. I would come over to my DNS, which is qserver. I'll refresh the page. I'll scroll down. Now I'll come to my admin center. I'll copy the TXT name. SPF is always a TXT name. The TXT name is @ the TTL, time to leave, is always 3600, 1 hour, and the type is TXT, like I said. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to copy the TTL is 1 hour, that's 3600. The TXT value, I'm going to copy this, then I'll come back here and paste it here. And all I have to do is just save changes. And I'll come back here, I'll refresh. If your domain provider is one that synchronizes so fast, like it propagates so fast, this will get published immediately. If not, you might have to wait for, some have to wait for like 24 hours before the DNS records get published here. Right, so now I'm seeing that my DKIM records are not correct and I want to publish them. Now, you will not see the DMARC record. Remember, we were talking about the DMARC, the DKIM, and the SPF records. The SPF record, you would always see it in the Microsoft Admin Center. The DKIM record, you would not see it in the Microsoft Admin Center if you have already published your records. If you have already gone ahead to publish these 3 record, MXT, TXT, and this CNAME, if you've published it, you will not see this. It's only probably when you were publishing these 3, you click on the options and then you added the CNAME record, you're going to see it here. So now I'm going to navigate to the Security Admin Center. So to get to the Security Admin Center, you either go to your Microsoft Admin Center, you click on the Show All, and click on Security. We're going to wait while this boots. Now, another thing, you would not see your DMARC records anywhere. You might have to put a call through to your domain provider or the person that is hosting your service, maybe Microsoft in this scenario. Now, there's also something you can use to check if all these are not published. I usually use the either I use the MX Toolbox or I use the DMARCian.com. DMARCian.com. So when you come to the DMARCian.com, you put in your domain name here. Click on Check My Domain. Then scroll down. You could see that my DMARC is not published. Because if I just published my SPF record, it's saying yes, it's published. You couldn't find my DKIM keys because I have removed it from Microsoft. So it's saying it is not published. I have deleted it from my domain provider. And you see, we could not find any DKIM records. Now, if I come to mxtoolbox.com, I'm going to close this and just reopen this again. So MX Toolbox. I'm going to put in my domain name, which is this. I'll click on MS Lookup. So hold on while it's loading. Alright. So my DNS record has been published, which is the MX, the SPF, and all that. The DMARC has not been published. Now, another thing why I like this is you can actually click on the drop down here and click on the ones you want to check for. Like, okay, let me see. DNS key. Scroll down. And you see DKIM lookup here. I'm going to click on DKIM lookup. I want to know if my DKIM has been published. Select that too. As the DKIM keys are always 2. It's not there. And from the DMARCian also, DMARCian.com, you can see that DMARC is not there, DKIM is not there. So I like using these two tools to check if I'm on the right path. So now we are in our Security Admin Center and we need to publish our DKIM keys. Unfortunately, we cannot find it here. We cannot find our DKIM here. Because like I said before, if you have already published your DNS record, the MXT, TXT, CNAME, you will not see your DKIM records here. You have to like look another path. So I'm going to, so we went to our Security Admin Center, and since we are here, where are we going to see our DKIM keys? So you're going to scroll down to Email and Collaboration. When you click on Policies and Rules under the Email and Collaboration, click on Threat Policies. And once you click on Threat Policy, you scroll down a little bit. You click on the Email Authentication Settings. Let's wait for that. Then you see the DKIM here. Can you see? Domain keys is an authentication process that can help protect both senders and recipients from forged blah 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 blah. Sorry. All right. So this is my DKIM. Now I'm going to disable this. It's saying enabled because I've already published that before and I just deleted it. So I just disabled it and I'm going to try and turn it on back. I want to enable my DKIM keys now. Can you see client error? The CNAME record does not exist. Please publish the following 2 CNAME record first. If you have already published the CNAME record, sync will take a few minutes to as many as 4 days based on your specific DNS. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to copy this on a notepad. Copy this from the domain name up to this part, because that is our record and that is what we would publish. So I paste it here. Now it told me my host name is this, point to address or value this. Then it gave me an host name again here. So I'm going to separate it and publish it. Now since I have copied this, I'm just going to close this space. I'm going to come back to my domain provider and I'll get to work. So I'm going to come back here. It said my host name was selector1.domain key. I'm going to post that here, and this is always 3600 1 hour. Now remember, when I tried to publish this, when I tried to turn it on, to turn on my DKIM keys, it gave me an error that said the CNAME record has not been published. So this is telling me that this is a CNAME record. So I'll come back here, the type is CNAME, and it gave me the address. It said point to address or value this, right? So I'll copy this, I'll paste it here, then I will now save changes. Now I'll do the same thing for the second one, which is selector 2. The host name, there are always 2 keys, and this is 3600 like we say, and this is CNAME, and he also gave me the address for this, which is this. So we've published this. Now we're going to go back to the admin center, and I'm just going to check this place since I've published it before and I was able to see the records here. So I'll refresh and see if I still have an error. Please note that this takes propagation time. Sometimes it doesn't happen immediately, while sometimes you see that it happens immediately. So let's wait for this. Now it's telling me that selector 1 is okay, while selector 2 is not yet fine. So I'm going to go back to my domain provider and verify that both are there. So can you see it's only selector 1 that is there. I'm going to refresh this. It's still the same thing. So what I'll do is I would publish the selector 2 again. CNAME, selector 2, save changes. Okay, so both are there now, selector 1 and selector 2. I'm going to come back here to click on this. I'll click on this, DNS records. Let's hold on for this. So now it's showing that everything is okay now. I refresh the page again. Can you see it shows that my status is now healthy, unlike before that I was showing possible service issue. And when I came to DNS records, or when I come to DNS records, you would see that everything is healthy. Now, like I said before, from what we got here, this may take, sync will take a few minutes to as many as 4 days. It doesn't propagate that fast. But most times when you publish it and you realize that, oh, am I sure I have published it? Am I sure I'm doing the correct thing? What I would advise you to do is just come to the DMARCian.com. It's synchronized very fast with DMARCian.com. When you come here, check your domain. Can you see it shows that it is valid? We found at least 1 DKIM record. So most times when you come to the admin center, it might show that it's not published. But once you use the DMARCian checker, which is a tool I like using, DMARCian.com, you will see that it's published immediately. Now what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to turn this on. Now remember that you cannot just publish your DKIM records and not turn it on. You have to turn it on. Now this is still showing me that it has not been published, which is why I told you that it takes a while for this to actually propagate. So I refresh the page. I'm going to try it one more time to enable this. So make sure you enable this here, because if you do not enable this here, it's not going to do anything in your tenant. That means you just published the record, but you did not enable it. So this is a tool that has to be done. It's something that has to be done. Yes, you can see it here. You can see it on your tenant, right? Good. But you still have to turn it on here. But since this is taking time, I'm going to go ahead to publish my DMARC records. Now, like what we said before when we checked that documentation, where did I see that documentation? Just going to use this. So, the checks performed, you're unable to find a DMARC record. As a result, this domain is not protected against abuse and likely does not meet the new Google and Yahoo sender requirements. And what I forgot to say is that Google and Yahoo made this very compulsory, like very, very compulsory. So if your Google or Yahoo, a Gmail sender or Yahoo sender is sending you an email and you've not published your DMARC record, you've not published your DKIM records, SPF, or anyone, either DMARC, either SPF, either DKIM, or three of them together, you've not published it, their email is likely to land in your spam folder, right? And your domain does not have a DMARC record. Your domain is at risk to being abused by phishers and spammers. So this is to verify that your domain is authentic, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and publish my DMARC record. Now you might be asking, where can I find my DMARC records? It's not on the admin center. It's nowhere. So where am I going to see my DMARC records? DMARC records, if you want to know your DMARC records, sometimes you have to like reach out to your domain provider. But DMARC record is so simple. Like I feel like you don't need to reach out to anybody. It's just underscore DMARC as the host name. This is always 3600, and a DMARC record is a TXT value, and the address, I put it down here. The address is always v is equals to DMARC1. P is set to either P can be set to reject, it can be set to quarantine, and then PCT is equals to 100. But I'm going to set my own to quarantine because if the email is found to be a spam, I don't want it to reject it. I want it to send it to my quarantine folder, because there are some emails that they are false positive. I don't know if I'm using the right word. Like they are not necessarily a spam, and in my flag it's probably due to the way the person sent it, probably due to the subject of the email. So I don't want my domain to reject it. What I want is it should take it to the quarantine folder, or it should quarantine this email so that I can check whenever I'm verifying my quarantine email. I can check that, oh, is this a legit email or it's a spam? If it's legit, I can just direct it to my inbox, and if it's a spam, I could just delete it from there. So I'm going to save changes. I hope you are understanding this. I'm going to save changes. I'm going to come back to now there's no way for you to check if your DMARC is published on the admin center. I'm going to come back here, and it told me my DMARC is set to quarantine. My domain has a valid DMARC record. Now notice that you might not see this check mark. If I tell it to reject, which is a very strict policy, it will show me that yeah, it is checked. But if I set it to quarantine, I'm going to have this. But what I want for my own organization is quarantine. Like I explained before, I do not want it to reject the email. I want it to take it to the quarantine for me, so I can know if it's actually true that it is false, that it is a spam email. So I'm going to use this tool checker again to check for my DMARC. Now can you see? Before it was telling me that I don't have a DMARC. Now it's telling me that I have a DMARC and it's set to quarantine. Policy to apply to email that fails the DMARC test. Valid values can be non-quarantine or reject. Well, anyhow, this is now telling me that the DMARC record is found. The record is valid. The record is valid, and multiple DMARC records corrected to a single record, blah blah blah. So they could find that. Now I'm going to check for DKIM. And it's going to tell me to put that. So I put selector on. Let's see if this will work. So I'm not putting that in very well, that's why. So domain / selector, okay. So it's supposed to be domain, which is this, and selector one. So can you see was able to find it. DKIM 1 identified the record retrieved, blah blah. The DKIM record is published, the DKIM is intact. This was the previous one, but now it's telling me that it could see it. I'll try for DKIM, the selector 2. So this is it. DKIM, blah 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 blah. DKIM records published. So I'll use this tool. These two tools checker are top notch. It lets you know that okay, I'm doing the right thing or I'm doing the wrong thing. So this one is telling me my DKIM is published, my DMARC is published, my SPF is published, and I'm done with my domain provider. Now I'm going to come here, I'm going to refresh and see if I can enable it. Like I said before, please always navigate to the security admin center to ensure that this is published or like this is valid, like it's enabled. I'm going to try and turn this on again. So it's still telling me that I have not published it. Meanwhile, I have published it. Can you see? It may take several minutes to find the status change, but it has been enabled, which is today, February 27, 2026. Now, can you see? I have published it. Can you see? So, and this has been enabled. So that is all I have to say about DKIM, DMARC, SPF records. I hope we learned something here today. These 3 keys are necessary in your organization. Like what I said before, I certainly could not find the documentation, but this is to verify that your email is correct. It's not a spoofed email. This is to verify that it's coming from a verified sender. This is to verify it's a valid key, and it's a necessary key to add to your DNS records when you are setting up your DNS for inbound, for outbound emails. This is necessary for your organization. So if you're seeing that someone is sending you emails and every time the emails are landing in your junk folder or your spam folder, I guess it's high time you verify if you have set up your DMARC, DKIM, SPF records, or you see that through email, like emails that are okay, that are legit, are landing in your spam folder. This is to tell you that your SPF, your DMARC, your DKIM record is not correct or has not even been set up. And if you notice, if you don't even know, maybe they've set it up or it has not been set up or you have no idea, you can just come to this DMARCian.com, put in your domain and check domain. Once you check your domain, this is going to tell you that your SPF record has not been published, your DKIM record has not been published, your DMARC record. This will tell you everything you need to know. If you don't want to use the DMARCian, you can use the MX Toolbox. It's going to tell you everything you need to know about your DNS records. And once it does, you can go ahead to the admin center, take your SPF records. It's even going to show you here if your SPF record is wrong. It's going to tell you that you have a service issue. So you can take it from here. Emails might be going through, even if it's saying possible service issue. Emails will be going through, but the only thing is your SPF record is wrong. That's the TXT record is wrong. So you can just come here, take the records, the correct records here, publish it on your domain, go to the security admin center, navigate to the email and collaboration. You click on policies and rules. You get to threat policies. In threat policies, you go to email authentication setting, you come to DKIM. You would see that, oh, my DKIM is enabled, oh, my DKIM is disabled. And once you click on it, you can always publish this. So I guess we are done here, and I hope you were able to learn 1 or 2 from this video. I hope you're able to learn 1 or 2 from this video: how to publish your domain records, how to publish your DNS records, and how to check for the DNS records. The DNS record that I'm talking about now is your SPF, your DMARC, your DKIM records. And I'm going to be dropping the DMARC record. DMARC records is the same for every organization. It's not different. It's the same thing. The host name is always underscore DMARC, while the value is always V is equals to DMARC1, P set to reject, PCT set to 100. Now you might want to set your P to quarantine, just depending on your policy in the organization. And you might be wondering what this means. As I open this documentation, I'm also going to be dropping this documentation in the comment section. So you might be wondering what this is. The V is equals to DMARC, the DMARC policy. This was the DMARC 1, identifies the TXT record as a DMARC TXT record. The DMARC policy, which is the P said to reject, say the messages should be rejected. What actually happens to the message depends on the destination email system, but the messages are typically discarded. Quarantine, the messages should be accepted but marked, which was what I wanted. What actually happens to the message depends on the destination email system. For example, the message might be quarantined as spam, delivered to the junk email folder, or delivered to the inbox with an identifier added to the subject or message body. P is equals to none, which I actually do not recommend for any organization. So you're telling the system that no suggested action for messages that fail DMARC. So what happens to the message depends on the email protection features in the destination email system. You can use this value for testing and tuning of the DMARC policy. Finish. Just testing and tuning. But this has nothing to do with, I don't recommend that. And you see, if the DMARC policy for the domain is P is equals to reject or P is equals to quarantine, there is no override for this behavior. You can read this, documentation so you understand more on what this is. Percentage of failed DMARC policy, which was the PCT, is equals to 100. Tell the destination email system how many messages that fail DMARC. And that's it, guys. We have come to the end of this video. We've been able to publish DMARC, DKIM, SPF records. Thank you for watching. This was a little bit long, but I hope you get to watch the end, and I hope you learned a lot from this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like I always say. Turn on the post notification so you don't miss any video. Like and comment on anything you'd want to learn from this channel. I'll be glad to do a video for you guys. And please please share it to your friends. You can tell your friends about this channel. This is a necessary tool as an IT support. You don't have to raise a request to Microsoft every time, or you don't even have to raise a request at all, or get bothered when all these are done in your organization. And once you know all these things, that means you are top of your game. You are the top of your game. You know what you are doing. So thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.